How long you guys usually do? Or do you guys chop it down?
Like an hour. Like we normally film for about an hour and then chop it down however much.
Nice.
Dude, the shortest I've went though, I've popped the podcast off in 25 minutes before.
Like it's like hanging up the phone with somebody. It's like, I don't think we're gonna.
Dude, no, it
Just
actually,
try to do the body language over the phone.
it's the opposite, dude. It's the opposite though. It's like I nail everything, right? Like I just hit it all like the way I thought it up, and I do it so fast that I'm just like I'm kind of like looking around like. It feels like it's been like 45 minutes. I'll go ahead and cut it off, and then I'll look at the footage and be 25. I'm like, damn.
It's been 10 minutes.
That was a legit interview, I guess.
I've been listening to podcasts non-stop, and it's weird. I'm in Inception right now.
It's all I do, man.
I'm in my phone.
Well, what's cool about it, man, is like I watch podcasts as like, you know, like a normal TV show, and then when I'm like going to bed, I just turn to audio, and then I don't have those flickering lights in my face over all night, you know, less power usage.
It's about like
Bills are
7
cheaper.
hours a day for me.
My phone's been telling me how much I'm on it, and I don't like that.
Oh, I hope I don't ever look at that. It's gonna
I
be
don't like
bad.
it. It's like, you've been on your cell phone for 9 hours this week, and I'm like, half of that I wasn't even looking at it. I was listening to podcasts.
Well, you know the camera's not rolling.
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1, action.
You talking to me? I'm talking to you. This is talking to me, talking to you. And I got a very dear friend of mine, straight from work in a horrible fucking traffic jam, Mason Thomas.
That's the excuse.
That's the excuse. we're not late to you, but we're late to us. So that's the thing. But it's fine. Now you're here.
Talking to me, talking to you. There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay of me talking to you, but he's talking to me now.
That's what I get for not taking back roads at 4:30.
Yeah. It's rush hour, baby. It gets heavy out there. I mean, it's not LA.
People don't know how to drive. It felt like it today.
Yeah, there was actually a thing I just read about if people would drive with a little bit of distance between each other, then
It's like an MIT study.
the flow of traffic would go 100% better. It's crazy.
Seems like might be able to do it without an MIT graduate.
Yeah, just be fucking nice, man. Just give people some space.
People space. We're all gonna get there at the same time. It's gonna be great.
Man. But no, I got you here on the couch now, and dude, I've been trying to get you here for a while. I know. I've booked with you. This is the third time, right?
Yes.
But you're a busy man. You're doing a lot of stuff. The most thing I've been seeing your time get took up by is that new bus that you're working on.
Yeah, the bus that's probably going to have to get registered as a van.
Nice.
But I don't think
It does look small, but it looks like a bus.
It's decent. It's a smaller one compared to a lot of the bigger like giant school buses. But like if you have like a giant 40-foot school bus, you can't usually go into a lot of places. But
yeah, it literally looks like a short bus.
Yeah, it is. I got it from a church in Maysville.
But it's like it's an RV technically, right? Isn't it?
It's not an RV until you get like a working bathroom, shower, refrigerator,
But,
and a bunch of other things in it. Yeah.
It's I guess designed to look sort of like an RV. It looks cool, man. I'm gonna pull a picture up.
It will, but it is it's not very far along. Yeah,
so
that's the
this is
Rust
a picture.
bus.
Yeah, this is the
There's
picture of
Gene.
you with the bus. That's when you first got it, right?
Yeah, that's about the first
so
day.
And you've gotten
yeah.
a decent amount of work on this done, right?
Yeah, I'm about at day 11 now, and all of it's just pretty much been tearing out all the seats and getting all the side work done. And most people won't tackle a bus that has this much rust on it. I think it was from New York originally, so there's
you're replacing all the panels I've seen.
Ton of salt damage on it. And most of the ones that are really bad, I got
You said
stuff.
from Missouri?
It was from Maysville, Kentucky. Drove it back and getting all the tags and all that mumbo jumbo set up here pretty soon. But it's pretty much ready to do it now. I'm ready to take it out on the road again. Got all the lights and stuff put back on it. But yeah, you watch all those videos of people that are converting them on YouTube and stuff, and you can watch those videos all day. But pretty much you have to just Like, if you really want to do it, you've got to, you've got to do at least one little thing to it every day.
We gotta learn, man. It's a process. I mean, and that's what's really cool about you, man. Personally, like, you're a person that really likes to dive into projects. Like, you're such a crafty, hands-on person, and that's
intentionally
really cool.
Overwhelm myself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do too, man. I do it in a digital format. You know, I mean, I'm doing so much right now. We just filmed a short film. We're working on a movie. We do the podcast. It's crazy, man. It's getting wild. Cool. I feel stressed, but I feel like $1 million at the same time.
It's the only way to, like, kind of keep that kind of thought at bay.
It's like an adrenaline rush. You gotta keep it, or else
have that thing chasing behind you.
When you dive, dude,
finish this.
You dive hard. But no, so you do all these like really cool like hands-on projects, and that kind of derives from you as a creative and an artist, you know. So like, what kind of started first, because you do the hands-on like craftsmanship work, like real labored stuff, like real big, like you're redoing your van, and then you do your art with like you paint, which is very delicate, you know, very very touchy, you know. So what started first, and how did you get into both of those as perspectively, you know? Well,
it started from, I guess, like, I mean, I've been drawing, doodling, and painting and stuff like my whole life, but I guess around high school I was in a trade school. I was about to go into graphic design, and it was in the orientation meeting thing.
So you was about to do digital.
I was about to do digital and realized I'm going to be in this room with, I don't know anybody in this room, and I'm going to be sitting at a computer for 2 years straight, and kind of on a whim I was just like, is the welding department open? And I went and just signed up for welding over there, and had a couple buddies that were over there, and that in the machining class, and did that for 2 years. Then did welding after high school for a little bit at another course. But yeah, it's like being hands-on with stuff. I know I'm missing the boat a lot on missing out on digital stuff, and I wish I had pursued it more back in the day, because I'd be way more equipped now.
Yeah.
And just with like even the phone art stuff that I do, like it's just on my phone, and it's pretty elementary compared to the stuff that other people are doing. But it's able to scratch the itch, and I'm able to stay creative when I don't have time to like really get everything out. But it's dealing with writer's block or like artist block and all that kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of other methods to get out of it. But the main one is just to throw as many other projects out in front of you as possible.
Stress yourself out.
Yeah.
And just keep going.
It's a
like,
great motivator.
Don't stop.
Yeah, it's a great motivator. Yeah.
I love it. So you're talking about your digital, because you do a little bit of digital art. You use a lot of symmetrical shaping and a lot of very what would be the
I guess it would just be like
abstract.
Like it's more of abstract stuff. I try to use like other just images, like photos that I've taken, or like
mend them together with different effects.
I'm as careful as I can to, like, if I am using somebody else's work, I'm citing it and all of that. But it's more of just trying to, like, even if it's something mundane, like being able to like bring life to it in one way or another. But I usually run it through like 3 or 4 different apps to get the way that I want to. I've slowed down on it a lot, but it's I've been able to make it into like a print form, like a sticker or magnet or something like that. It's always good to get it like out like into physical form, and it does really well, but I'm not very good at selling them. If somebody buys a couple of them, I just throw like 10 more of them on them. Yeah. And I just like try to get it out there. It's
I've noticed that you do that too, and you'll make like, you know, I've seen you make coasters, magnets, all that stuff, and you use those images for posters and flyers for shows. Which so I want to show a little bit of example of what we're talking about.
It started because there were so many shows people were doing.
This is one that I seen. This looks awesome.
What was that one? That was...
Almost can't tell if it is digital because this little white shine outline. It almost looks like it could be real.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers that I try to put, because like it's a lot of symmetrical stuff, but trying to break the symmetry is a thing that I try to do as much as I can.
So that's the digital stuff, and then this...
I believe that one was from like some of the rust converting paint that I had in the bus, and I just edited the hell out of it,
dude, and it looks cool. And then you got this, which is your actual hands-on painted art.
What
you do a lot of wood graining, right?
Yeah,
is that what that's called? Wood graining.
Well, that's what I call the spoken grain stuff. Just to like that piece especially is one that like already had that kind of look. The only thing I didn't go with is like the top where it's rounded off at, but everything else is just the grain of the wood, and you keep like just chiseling it out until you get to something. That one's still not really done yet. There's still some more that I have to do. I noticed
you take a very, very long, precise time.
They take a long time
to do all that stuff.
But the really large ones take just about the same amount of time as like a 12 by 12 one.
Yeah. And you do most of these paintings at shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. So you paint. So when you're doing these specific pieces. You're going to shows and having a live experience, so you can kind of get some inspiration from people and stuff like that, I assume.
Yeah, most of the time it's painting out in the wild, and like people come up and say, "Oh, I don't want to bother you while you're working." It's like, that's the whole reason I'm bringing this out here, so I can like bounce stuff off of people.
That's what I think is cool, man, because you're trying. A lot of people have a hard time with focus, but you're trying to literally put yourself in a crowd and get that energy to paint. Which some people like. What was it? There's a couple famous painters that are very, very inclusive and very isolated type of style. That's very common thing.
It's a very common thing with artists in general.
Yeah, it is. It's very.
And I still have that.
I see. That's what's really weird for me. I mean, I'm kind of like that, but it's more of like with small groups. Like, get a small group, and I will act very differently than I will around a large group of people, because I can really like touch on people's individuality. You know what I mean? And like really pull out what their creative side is if we're working on a project, or if I'm working on a project and they're just like viewers of some sort. It's easier to do it like that.
It's also very common, like just about every show, like somebody will come up to like artists, or like usually if it's a like certain kind of show, like there's a lot of other painters there, and they'll come up and say, "Oh, I always wanted to do it, but I'm not that creative or whatever." And usually like I'm just like, my first thing I say is like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And like the only thing that's getting in the way of it is your own personality, or like your own like you doubting that you're able to get something completed in a situation like that, or like not even just in a public situation, but just any kind.
Yeah, it's a decision. You decide to.
If you want to restrict yourself and say like, "Oh, I'm going to start way too late. I'm never going to get around to it." Like you'll never do it.
That's it.
If you want to, then you can. And it's like from what I've experienced, like with seeing people like growing up, it's talent only gets you so far. But if you're like, if you have any kind of talent or something that you really enjoy, like just practice and just like determination on it is worth way more than just like being naturally good at something. And some people I have seen that are naturally gifted like that, like in music or anything like that.
Yeah, they just have it.
It'll get stagnant after a while, and they won't want to pursue it anymore. And like just comparatively to people that are
the passion
really
gets lost.
Yeah, they're passionate, they're hungry, they really want to get what they're doing out there, and it's really important to surround yourself with a lot of people that not only inspire you but like make you want to just in general try a lot harder.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. That's the kind of philosophy I've been trying to run on, man. It's just like finding people that are doing things constantly and trying to surround myself with them, because show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
That's exactly right. I forget who said that.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Some tycoon business guy.
That guy's great. Oh.
But it's just the words, man. It's the words that matter, you know. And it's.
Why you're fucked up?
Yeah, you want to know why you're fucked up? I'll show you why you're fucked up, and I'll show me your
that
friend.
guy's a little controversial, but yeah, he makes some good points.
Well, and that's. I mean, honestly, thinking about it, a little controversy, I guess, isn't too bad, because you need a point of where people are going to look at it from a distorted light, you know.
Right.
And that's, you know, what we do with our films. We don't make nice stuff at all. We make very dark content. Is there some light in it? Yes, but not always, man. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, like, life's not dandelions and sunshine.
It's also a filter to be able to look through it, to be able to...
It's not real. It's depicted from reality, but it is not real. Yes.
People give, like music is especially in the limelight, but like art in general, like to where they're gonna judge it, and it's like, oh, it's having this effect on people, or like it should be for this thing, and like the you have to separate the art from the artist sometimes. But if you're not really paying like attention to how your point is coming across, you're not gonna be able to find out like, oh, this is what they actually mean. Or like they're wanting you to at least look at it through this lens, because ultimately it's up to you. It's the eye of the beholder. It's like you want to be able to
interpreter.
Yeah, you can't really look at it too close when you're like creating something. I think you have to make it for yourself and not make it for other people. But ultimately, you're giving it away to society as a whole when you're done with something. And I guess it's a thing with painting. I guess like they're like you kind of have to learn how to end a painting, because
Yeah.
if you add too much to it, like you're never gonna get back for what you added to it. And it's the same with music and other things like that. It's like a very meticulous simplicity.
You got to decide when to stop.
That's very
everything.
Very hard to do.
Anything, man. I mean, that's really. It's like we're just talking about. That's really relative to life. Like, you decide to do things. You gotta. Is this good, or could I add something that will make it better? Right. Or if I do add these little detailed touches, is it going to make it worse? Because it can. It can. Just like that one added thing can ruin the entire project.
And it's like it'll let you know, but you have to be listening really hard. It's very low voice. It's very subtle, and you'll miss it if you're not really
if you're not paying attention. And that's for just knowing your craft and what your abilities are and not passing them unless you can, like, build your steps, slowly build up to what you can be, not what you want to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can never be somebody on TV you see.
Right.
You can only be yourself and what the best possible outcome of you is.
And you gotta also, it's a thing that I'm trying to constantly improve upon, but it's like not even just with like unfinished work or anything like that. It's also to where, like, you've heard the phrase like master, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
And like that is a very real thing, because like you could spread yourself out way too thin and not be able to go into it. I was originally my very first portfolio that I had was for tattooing. I was kind
really
of gung ho on getting a tattoo apprenticeship.
I never knew that about
and
you
I
either.
met a very amazing tattoo artist that I sat down with when I was a teenager, and he pretty much mapped it out. Like, he said, like, yeah, your work's okay. Like, it's okay, but like you still need to put like about like a decade's worth of experience just
6 hours
being in a shop, not necessarily getting paid for it either, because you have to earn your legs out there. And then like, and if you're gonna, like, he told me, like, if you're gonna do this, like, you need to just do this. And I had to really think about it, and I unfortunately went, I want to do a lot of other things. So and there's people that are extremely like laser focused and professional about it, and a lot of people that I know that like have gotten into it or even started later, and they've just exceeded beyond anything I could have thought, just because they stuck with it and really stayed laser focused on it, and they're able to use that as their career now. It's their full-time job now.
And what you were saying, like, about people with talent and stuff that kind of just like start off ahead of the curve, if they can get that type of mentality, like, so like they're very talented, they're specific, they can like all this, they're just a prodigy of some sort, whatever. They can sing, they can play guitar, they're artists, they can draw, something they're just really good at right from the get as a child. If they can develop a mindset to learn everything, they can not, because they can focus on that and become extraordinary. But if they can build that talent into everything else they're doing in life, then that you can win, man, in life.
The beauty of those kinds of things is there's no glass ceiling on it. Like you the only limitations that are there are the ones that you set for yourself. If you don't if you don't adhere to that, or if you like reach a point to where like, oh, I need to find a teacher, or I need to like expand, like I've kind of gone as far as I can teach myself. Like the word autodidact is a great word for like being able to teach yourself, but it doesn't get you like as far. Like sometimes, like I'm like I've played piano my whole life, like since I was a kid, but I kind of learned how to read music, kind of unlearned it, and then I can keep up with it, but I'm not nearly as sharp as I was like back in the day. But I'm back at the point now where if I would love to continue doing that, but I need to seek professional help
to learn, to get the steps, that because you can't learn everything by yourself, man.
No.
There's theories and there's development and human beings that's been hundreds and hundreds of years in the works that you can't just pick up because you're someone in 2021. And it's what people think because they have the internet.
The internet's a great resource for that kind of thing, but you need to have a lot of discipline to jump into something like that. But like you can't let it like scare you off. If you're really driven, you're gonna look at everything and then still try and find an actual like in the flesh teacher to actually go through everything with
somebody to pull you through the ropes, so you can understand it better, and almost like interning, almost like that. But I like to try.
If you like it enough, you're not going to mind.
You're not going to mind that. Yeah, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to have fun, and that's the goal, I guess. Always is to try to do what you love, no matter what it is, because you're not going to love everything about what you do.
Yeah, and like it's like setting intentions for stuff. I've like the whole reason I did the bus build thing, or I started doing it anyway, because I've been obsessed with tiny houses for a long time, like the tiny houses on wheels.
Love them tiny houses.
My dad grew up in West Virginia, and I was telling him about tiny houses and stuff, and he was like, "Do you know what we used to call tiny houses growing up? Houses." So
dead ass.
So it's the different idea of having like just very high quality, like well manufactured, like not hacky ways of building these things. There's like plethora of different designs and styles. A lot of them are really bougie. I think that there's a way to do it to like for affordable housing and things like that. There's no financial incentive for it yet, and especially not around here. But in
the cities, I could see it popping up.
It's legally it's a lot easier to get one in the city, but there's still a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get one, even out here in the country. But
by state right now.
Yeah, and like the Pacific Northwest is probably like mecca for tiny houses right now. But I was ready to travel.
Portland's probably a huge place. Yeah,
but like to travel and find a place that was doing it. But I found it was a billboard. You don't usually use billboards that much anymore, but it was advertising that they were building tiny houses and van conversions and doing all that. And I called them up and got hired there. I've been there since December.
Oh, wow.
So I manifested it and got myself into a place that's building them.
And you're doing what you said, like
mostly painting them and like filling in and finishing, doing a lot of finished stuff, a lot of finished trim and all that.
But you bought a bus to build yourself, and you are working for a company that literally does that.
The only one in Cincinnati that I know of right now.
Dude, that's literally getting lost in your work. Like, that's so cool that you're willing to, like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this. I want to do this with my life. You love traveling. You travel a lot. So bus job involved with doing that. You're gonna learn double amount of time into this skill. And that's exactly it.
Just getting familiar with him, like just being around him, like, and just knowing, like just even if like I'm not working on him, like I've just been doing the cabinets and stuff all day today, and like fixing all those up and getting them in there. But just knowing, like, okay, I would do this the same way. I do this differently, or what have you. But like, they're like the stuff is out there to do it, and I'm hoping that it gets more accepted, because there is a like it is more of like a movement, I guess. But there is a lot of hype and stuff attached to it. I've been to a tiny house festival a couple years ago. I think it was 2017. Is that when the eclipse was?
Yes.
Yeah, I went out there. I went out there on my way to actually meet Jordan Merchant out in Long Beach. I went to Colorado for this tiny house festival, then down there, and then up to Wyoming for the eclipse. But the tiny house festival in Colorado, like, you could see a lot of them were people that just did DIY stuff, that threw stuff together.
Why did you go to Wyoming for the eclipse? Exactly.
It was
just a good spot to see
friend
it.
of the family had it was in their backyard, and it was in complete totality, like from their back porch.
Just where you were at.
Yeah, it was about perfect. 3 minutes.
Okay,
3 minutes, about as good as you can get.
I was gonna ask, because like there's no that's a long distance to go and check out the eclipse.
They had a badger living under their porch. It was great. He could pet you, but you couldn't pet the badger. The badger would like growl at you and stuff, but he could like.
Wait! Badgers can growl?
Oh yeah, he was vicious.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, they are vicious.
That's crazy.
They're pretty close to Wolverines. But
really?
This guy was like a little used to people, but you still didn't want to take a chance with this guy.
That's funny.
That and the moose out there were scary.
So you were talking about dabbling in your keyboarding again. So I kind of want to touch on. So you as a musician, I find you as a musician the most unique of all people that play instruments because of what you play. Dude, you always so you bring what's the big drum you bring?
The djembe.
The djembe. So you bring a djembe everywhere.
Some people call it the djembe. The D is silent. So it's djembe.
The djembe.
Yeah. Djembe,
which is funny because it sounds like you're saying the djembe.
I'm not totally sure what tribal language it comes from, which specific language it comes from, but it translates to gather. Like they would pretty much use it for like wireless communication back in the day.
Well, the African, I'm assuming, yeah, dude. Who did I talk to about that? Jake. I talked to Jake about a lot of like where music really spawned from. Rhythm spawned from Africa. Chords and like choiry kind of music, like harmonies, come from monks. Come from either the Himalayas or there's another one I can't remember the exact name. But they just were throwing hymns out, stuff like that. But you play that, you bring that everywhere. But there's the really interesting thing that you bring out to play is these charade of tin cans.
Oh, the contraption.
Yeah. And you match this. So you normally end up playing around with bluegrass guys, right? But
with thing, that's the main reason I invented it. Yeah, I didn't invent it, but I built one myself. You can't buy it at Guitar Center. But
what do you call it?
I usually just call it my washboard, but you do have a washboard on it. The Hack and Saw boys were part of the inspiration on building this one. I wish I had a
picture of it.
But I've got it in my truck.
Do you?
Yeah, I do take it everywhere. It's a lot of fun. The thing is it is built for bluegrass, but I played it with a lot of other acts and stuff. But it was welded together at work during 3 lunch breaks about that's like 7 years ago. That was
your welding experience.
It was the prototype one, and I've been playing it nonstop. I have like almost a dozen other washboards that I have that I'm getting ready to I've got all the materials ready to make another one, but I'm kind of playing this one until the wheels fall off, or I know I'm going to have to retire it and just kind of make another one, or like if I make another one, I'm probably going to have to make like 3 of them at once and just decide which one I want to use.
So you were saying you used your welding skill that you learned in trade school to make this instrument.
Yeah, because other people like rivet them together or like use wire to put them together.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to make sure this thing doesn't fall apart on me, and I'm kind of amazed that it's still together. Because
that's actually wood too.
All the grain is opened up on one side from the brushes hitting it, like it's polished on the left side of it compared to the other side. It's all still tarnished because it hasn't been hit.
It's been through.
I've been slowly shaving the metal off of it, but it's a lot of fun just like as like a light percussion thing to have, because I love collaborating on stuff. Not necessarily writing. Like if I'm writing anything, it's mainly just like a rhythm pattern or just on top of something else that's written. I enjoy collaborating a lot more than just like going out and busking on the street, just banging on cans and stuff like that. I much more prefer to
be on stage with somebody and work with their music and sound.
And write with stuff, rehearse stuff, because it's a lot more satisfying than just full open improv. Open improv is great, but I still think you need to write a little bit as far as like just the framework that you have thrown up in the air before you do anything like that. So
there's that instrument. What do you have any other kind of really quirky, cool instruments that you bring out? It's been a while.
I'd like to play the spoons.
But
I can't play the spoons yet. I'd like to play those, but it's another thing like where I've seen people that are so good at them.
I think you do go with harmonica, man. Honestly, because they're really similar to keys. Like when it comes to like the.
Oh, I'd love to do that. And there's some that like have the pitch shift that you can use on them.
Yeah, dude, that'd be like right up your alley, I think.
I'd be starting from square one, but like you saw Jake, like he's got like a whole box full of them.
Yeah, he was explaining to me how they worked and stuff too. It's wild. They're just like singular jaw harps just lined in together.
All the different keys that you can imagine. And the first band that I saw that really had their harmonica player is a band Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. I was on stage. I was on stage painting with them, and this guy had a whole belt of them that he would switch like 3 or 4 of them in a single song, and I'd never seen anything like it.
Just like in a belt, like changing ammunition.
There's some artists that you see where you're like, wow, I want to pick that up and try it, and there's some other artists that you see that's like, wow, why do I bother. But yeah, it was one of those. But I would like to learn how to do it. But it's baby steps.
It's extreme, man. How many would you say he had around his belt?
Oh, he had there was like a dozen in a belt, and then he had like a little stool behind him with a
There's
like
only
a whole
what?
box.
I mean, there's only 12. There's only 12 keys, right?
He had way more. He had way more than that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. There's stuff I don't know about.
Yeah,
keys I don't know.
He must know something that I don't. I mean, they might some of them just might be other textures and stuff made out of different materials.
Just like
larger, smaller ones,
stuff like that.
But it's yeah, you can just dive into that thing.
That's
for your entire artistic career just doing harmonicas.
That's wild because most people think it's a very simple thing to learn.
Yeah.
I know a guy that picked it up pretty fast. Zach Stout. He told me like he just kind of like it's one of those things, man. Like there's some things in life that you're just skilled at as a human being. Like your body and your chemistry and your biology are just made to do specific things. I mean, like Usain Bolt can run. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is an example of a specific human being being able to do a specific thing very well.
Right.
And that's something that Zach Stout was able to do with harmonica. He just picked it up within a year. He knew how to do everything.
And it's also, I think it's seeing it at like a certain age, because I do think like a lot of like talent and genetics is a little like it's a little bit passed down, I think, because like I've looked at both sides of my family, and like it took me like a while, like until like after I graduated, like I was like looking at it, I was like, oh my god, this is on both sides. Like I got to do something with this, but it's there's no ceiling on it. So if you find something that you really enjoy doing, and like especially don't do it just because you think like you should, or like you're expected to do it.
Don't do it because you want to. Do it because you have to.
Exactly. Yeah.
You feel like you have to.
Right.
It's like a skill you feel like you gotta have.
And it's also like it goes across the board with a lot of things to where you can like describe it to a certain extent, but you can't really like it's like kind of intangible. You can't really touch it. You can't it's really hard to describe. Like it's like people like describing like certain songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And after a while they'll just be like what do you think it means? And they much rather hear what other people think of it rather than like this is exactly how I wanted it to be perceived and all of that.
And everything's under interpretation, man. It's so wild. Like, you know, even just between sentences.
Yeah,
like, it's very like I could hear something completely different than what you just said. Well, technically, for perspectively, like you said the same sentence, but maybe I didn't pay attention to the sentence before all the way, and then I heard you all of a sudden, and I went, wait, what'd you just say?
But the fact that it's able to work anyway is amazing. But I mean, like from what we're able to like perceive, like it seems like music was around before written language, and like the oldest instruments that we like have been able to find like just like have made people realize like, oh yeah, we need to rewrite some history books on how old these things are.
And that's where so that brings me to my next thing I want to talk to you about. So you like to host gatherings of yourself, of music gatherings, and you have many different assorted names, but the general name is the Household Bash.
Yes, the Bash.
You've had many versions of the Bash. I've been at quite a few. We actually did a little thing there once with like some video cameras and stuff.
Yeah, what was like 2016 or
17,
2017? That was 2017. That was also 17.
Yeah, I think the eclipse may have been 18. Now I think about it, it may have been 2018.
It was one of the two, but like I remember you all were streaming and doing all kinds of other stuff. You were doing band interviews and stuff like that, and streaming all that before like way before like everybody else like just started before it became like really mainstream to do that, because it was kind of just a novelty thing. It's like, oh look, we can do this and we should do this, so let's do it. But it wasn't like that's like this is our only option. Do it now. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But you do the Household Bash. How many would you say of these events have you held over the years?
Oh boy. Well, last year was the first year I haven't done one in a very long time.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
It was probably started doing them around 2012 or 13, like maybe like doing a couple of them before I was able to get like larger acts and stuff in there, but like most of the work is just juggling everything in the air, confirming everybody to get there, getting all the utilities there.
I know all about it, brother. I know all about it.
But I recently heard on the creator of the band Downtown Brown, Neil.
Okay.
He had this guy on, one of his buddies from Detroit, and he would throw these massive parties that blew mine like to scale out of the water. And they did a eerily similar thing that I did that like I had just thought of, and it just seemed to work because we thought it was going to be fun. Yeah. We made a gladiator pit in the backyard.
I remember that. You telling me they did that up there?
No, they did it like for like these massive parties and stuff where like there's I've got to remember. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but like they would have like a harp player like greeting people coming into the party. But pretty like legit. ours is more of like
pretty
just
legit party, yeah.
Like backwoods kind of like hoedown hootenanny kind of thing. Oh yeah,
but it's a community thing though. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But every time that I've done some kind of like it's just a bamboo circle, and I have my buddy Max get like some ref gear on, and like we've had all these foam swords, and get your aggression out. If you have beef with somebody, you handle it in the ring. And every time I've done that, I haven't had any kind of like violent altercations or anything like that. And I've noticed that like a couple times when I haven't had it there, like things got a little hairy, but I started putting it together, and it's like, this is the way to deal with it.
Beefy dudes with testosterone running around and beer.
I'm not on the stage. I need to be noticed. Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, so you need to have like somewhere for people to kind of get that out of their system, and it works very well, but I'm hoping to.
That's cool though. It's a safe way to kind of get your frustration.
It's really entertaining to watch.
It is. Dude, I'm a huge fan of like mixed martial arts. So I love watching people fight. So watch people hit each other
in
with
a controlled environment. It was.
No. You don't want nothing bad.
Yeah, nothing ever gets serious when we're able to cool people down if it gets to that point. But it was like just something to have going on during the day, because like usually like the sets will start around like 4 in the afternoon. We've only done one of them that was 2 days in a row. And that one was wild. That one, like the second day was much more acoustic acts, and we had all the bigger bands the first day, but it was wild. We've had some amazing acts come through there, and it's been wild. I'm really hoping we can start doing it, because it like this whole thing with last year feels like end of an era.
It does, yeah.
But it
feels like the start of a new one.
Well, I mean, it's also an end of an era because we're all getting older anyway. Yeah, so that's the other part of it. Yeah. But you have to realize like, okay, it's going to be something different now if we do it. It can't all be the exact same thing. Yeah. So we shouldn't try to make it.
And I'm with you on that. I agree, and I would like to help you. To try to make it something different.
It has to happen this year. Like as soon as we're able to make sure we can do it safely and get
I'd say we'd probably be able to towards the end of the year, September probably.
That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah,
that sounds about right. I really do think that would be a good time for it. Yeah. And dude, we'll bring in this motherfucking shit. Just we used to, man.
Yeah,
we'll do it. We'll do it real this time too.
Yeah, we'll get a green screen out there and do it again. We'll do it on the beach. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We got 10 times more equipment than we had then, man. Nice. We're ready.
Yeah, and I would love to like try and use like if we have like a sign up sheet, we'll put it in fine print. It's like, you might be in a movie.
Yeah,
if you're you might be in the background of a movie. So we use the crowd.
Movie, definitely a video.
Certain things. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to do that. And part of what I want to do for a video is have like we do like a tournament or something in the gladiator arena, and we incorporate that like onto the stage.
Dude, I would really enjoy. I like the gladiator thing, but man, let's get some pads. Let's get a boxing ring going too. Yeah. Fuck it.
We need this giant Q-tip thing and like a balance beam. That's
all that. Let's just get a bunch. Like, let's get. I'm not saying like no, but let's get some ridiculously big gloves. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the Hulk hands.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like, let's make it fun. You know, like we don't want, because we're not fucking trying to get anybody hurt in the backyard.
I'm trained in first aid, so I'll have to come
just big
stop you from leaking if anything happens.
If you start bleeding, we'll get the Band-Aids. It's okay.
Wrap you up. I'll put you back together the best I can, and then I'll send you off somewhere where they can actually fix you.
Super excited for that. I really am. I'm waiting for it to come back because you did announce one at the beginning of the year last year.
Yeah, I was hoping to do one. I had the whole profile picture up there, and I think I've changed it. If you go to the page, I think it still says 2020 on there, but we never did one.
Which the future told on that one.
And I had like a loose idea of doing the Bubble Bash, kind of like a micro version of the whole Chappelle summer camp thing, where we have to really establish everything in there.
Yeah,
but that's a lot of work for a 1 day backyard show.
Luckily
it's all outside, but I mean liability and just like knowing that the risk is out there, it's not worth it. And like I've had people ask me about it, and just like, no, I can't do it.
Not yet.
Can't do it.
We're getting there. We're close.
We are closer than we have been in a long time. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is, and I'm so excited for it. Well, dude, I mean, I think this has been a great podcast, man.
And you have an amazing operation going.
Dude, thank you.
You were the best.
Dude, hey, and I'm going to hold you to it. You said you're going to bring me a painting.
I know. I came from work. I'm bringing you some arts.
I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to find you a nice spot, and I'm going to put your work up here.
I got some wood grain stuff that I have in mind. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm super excited. But anyways, thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you so much. This has been Talking to Me, Talking to You. You guys have a good one.